Tonight, widespread protests against the Islamic State in Iran continue, as Iranians in Canada rally to support their fellow countrymen in the Middle East.
So this is huge. This is a humanitarian crisis.
How the community is reacting and spreading their message of support here in Ottawa. And competing for a chance to go for gold.
To see that pay off and to see them finally achieve their dreams, like that's it. There's nothing cooler than that.
The 2026 Canadian National Skating Championships wrap up in Gatineau as Olympic hopefuls put their skills to the test. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin in Iran, where activists say hundreds of people are dead as nationwide protests against the country's regime continue. Iranians here in our region are nervous about family in the Middle Eastern country, holding on to hope that the regime there will be toppled. CTV's Kimberly Fowler joins us live in studio with the very latest. Kimberly.
Well, Austin, the activists say the death toll in Iran has climbed to 538 and more than 10,000 detained amid an internet and phone blackout this weekend. Now, we've seen rallies across Canada as Iranians here struggle to connect with family and friends back home. Meanwhile, video from the streets of Mashhad, Iran, show protesters flooding the streets and fires burning at one of many protests continuing across the country. After 2 weeks of demonstrations, the Iranian government communications blackout continues. Over 10,000 people have been detained so far, and that's according to the U.S.-based human rights activist news agency. The chaos continues even as the country's supreme leader threatens to expand the crackdown. This as U.S. President Donald Trump issues a warning to Iran.
I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts.
In response, the country's speaker sent a warning to the U.S. and Israel that it will retaliate if America launches strikes against the Islamic regime. Iranian authorities have accused both countries of stirring up unrest. And European Union President Ursula von der Leyen pushing back against Iran's crackdown on protesters. In a post on social media today, she says the EU is monitoring the situation carefully and that Europe stands with the people of Iran in their legitimate fight for freedom. Now, demonstrations have been held here in Ottawa over the weekend, as well as in Montreal and Toronto and other Canadian cities, as Iranian Canadians call for support while they struggle to get information out of their home country. Austin.
Okay, CTV's Kimberly Fowler reporting live for us tonight. Kimberly, thank you very much for this. And as Kimberly mentioned, one of those major rallies was held here in the nation's capital. That was today, and well over 100 people took to Parliament Hill, raising their voices, and protests against the Islamic Republic in Iran continue. CTV's Camille Wilson was at that rally today. So, Camille, what more are you hearing?
Austin, Iranians in Ottawa here are outraged at what is going on in their country and say they want to be heard for their people to be free coming together to be the voice of the people in Iran.
We want you to hear us, to hear Iranian.
Iranians living in Canada taking to Parliament Hill Sunday in solidarity with the ongoing protests in Iran, calling for a regime change.
We, together with the Iranian people inside Iran, we want politicians to recognize Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi as the leader and provide support by giving maximum pressure on the regime and maximum support to the people of Iran to help them to get rid of this regime.
Those here voicing support for the people of Iran who are fighting for freedom from the Islamic Republic.
We have a government who kills their own people. This government is an Islamic regime who doesn't care about the basic human rights of the people. We are here just to be the voice of people who are taken hostage inside the country, and they are demanding their own basic human rights.
A clear human rights abuse by the regime. And we are here to resonate the voice of the people. People in Iran have voiced what they want.
Protesters are calling on the Canadian government to stand with the Iranian people to defeat the Islamic Republic and support the people's transition to democracy.
Iranian nation basically in Iran who have been suppressed for 47 years. by the dictatorship regime. We are observing and witnessing mass murdering of more than 500, 600 killing of youth in Iran. And this is just a fraction of the killing and murdering. This is one of the very common trend of killing and silencing people in Iran.
A digital blackout has blanketed the country for several days, cutting internet access and phone lines.
It's 4 days that I haven't talked to my parents, to my families in Iran, because everything is shut down.
Running a massacre through the messages that we receive leaking via Starlink. A few people have access to that. Just this morning I received that in one night and in one city, the government has killed 470 people.
The Iranian community wants the Canadian government to put more pressure on the regime in Iran and to stop any negotiation or any deals with the current leaders of the Middle Eastern country. Austin.
CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us tonight. Camille, thank you very much for this. And you can stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the ongoing widespread protests in Iran. For updates on radio, tune in to News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News channel at any hour. It was another mild day here in the nation's capital, relatively warm for this time of year, but we did get some more snow today, and we're sitting at -4 degrees right now. Some flurries expected to continue throughout this evening, heavy at times depending on where you are in the region. Tonight's low -11, so the cool down has begun, and that is good news for the ice across the city and community rinks and of course the canal. -8 in Brockville tonight, -12 in Petawawa, same with Maniwaki and in Gatineau. Warming up tomorrow to 0 degrees, so even warmer than we were today. Some very light snow in the forecast for us here in Ottawa. Same goes for Bancroft and Pembroke at -1 and 1 degree respectively. 0 in Gatineau and -3 in Tremblant, with some pretty heavy flurries at times, which is great news for skiers and of course for snowboarders. We are just an hour away, about an hour away, from finding out who will represent Canada at the Olympic Games in figure skating. It is an exciting moment, all happening right here in the National Capital Region. The culmination of years of hard work for the best skaters that Canada has to offer, putting their skills to the test in Gatineau at the Canadian National Skating Championships. CTV's Kimberly Johnson was at the competition today, and she joins us now in studio. And so, Kimberly, that announcement coming at 7 o'clock.
That's right, Austin. Skating officials say they couldn't give me any hints about who could be announced. And even if they could, it is coming down to the wire because of the range of talent on the ice this week. Fans say taking in this week's competition is an honor, with so many excellent athletes in action.
The best skaters in Canada taking to the ice to battle it out one last time ahead of the Winter Olympic Games in Milan.
We love it. We just love it.
Friends Jane Tellier and Karen Candy attend the Canadian National Skating Championships every year.
16 for you and I, but you've done a lot more than that. Yeah, many more.
One from Vancouver, the other traveling from Brampton, crossing Canada together wherever it goes to see artistry in action.
Witness and feel the emotion of the skaters, the fans. This is a really, really intense sport.
It's fun. We get to see the skaters when they're first starting out and then follow their careers to hopefully Olympics.
Let's go, and that artistry could lead some to the biggest stage of all, those who will represent Canada at the Olympics in Milan. First, need to impress competitions like this.
Overwhelming to be here to participate to such event, especially because it's an Olympic year.
Chosen to compete in the men's, women's, pair teams, and the ice dance disciplines, as well as the team event.
This is the best that we have to offer.
The results here at the Nationals at Centre Slush Puppie in Gatineau isn't the only event judges will use to decide the team. Skate Canada officials say judges will look at a body of work over the past couple of seasons.
It's years of work to get to this level and to be nominated to that team.
Fans cheering on their favorites, Canadian pride.
I'm from Gatineau, so of course I wanted to be here. It's the first time that we are hosting this quality of event, so of course I wanted to be here and share this experience.
To see them finally achieve their dreams, like that's it. There's nothing cooler than that.
It's kind of incredible.
In all, there were more than 300 figure skating athletes performing this week. That includes junior to senior athletes from coast to coast. And again, the clock is ticking down to find out who will be going to Milan. Exciting stuff, Austin.
Yeah, and one of the best events at the Winter Olympics as well. Always love the figure skating. Kimberly Fowler reporting live for us tonight, or Kimberly Johnson, excuse me. Thank you very much for this. And CTV Ottawa has extended coverage of the Canadian Skating Championships. There are more details online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, 3 people were injured in a head-on collision this morning on Prince of Wales Drive. Ottawa Fire Services posting these images after the collision, showing the devastation of that crash. Firefighters had to extricate both drivers from the wreckage. Paramedics say all 3 people involved were taken to the trauma center. 1 man in critical condition, while another man and a woman were transported in stable condition. This happened again on Prince of Wales Drive. That was south of Hunt Club Road shortly before 9 o'clock this morning, and crews remained on scene for much of the day. Well, the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation is still waiting for the winner or winners of Friday's $55 million Lotto Max jackpot to come forward after the winning ticket was sold in the Russell Prescott area.
We couldn't be more excited, and we're just really anxious for the ticket holder or holders to come forward, because we don't know if it's really one person that bought that ticket or if it's a group.
The winner or the winners of the Lotto Max jackpot have 12 months to come forward. OLG says they're unable to say exactly where in the Prescott-Russell area the ticket was sold. The corporation will have to wait until the prize is claimed before revealing that information. Well, as U.S. President Donald Trump continues to insist the U.S. needs to own Greenland, Canada's security and sovereignty in the Arctic is once again front and center. Federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre told a BC crowd yesterday how he'd handle the issue. CTV's Jeremy Sharon has more on that.
Inside a BC town hall this weekend, a pitch from federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre on how to protect Canada's Arctic.
We have to be there. We have to dominate our sea, sky, and soil.
I'm Mr. Poilievre. My name is
Asked
William.
by a constituent how Canada should protect its sovereignty and legal interests in the region in the face of a Trump administration pushing to take Greenland to gain strategic influence in the north, Poilievre pushed for an increased presence.
We've not had an Arctic base since the Cold War. We need 3 of them in order to have a capability of projecting power and security.
We need a new Conservative government.
During last year's federal election campaign, Poilievre promised to build at least 1 Arctic base in Iqaluit if elected.
Part of the aim, from my perspective, of the U.S. saber rattling with respect to Greenland is to get Europe and, frankly, ourselves to move.
This former NATO commander says Trump's talk shouldn't change Canada's strategy, but it could accelerate it.
We need to continue the program that we have underway, which is to establish surveillance from the seabed to space. And that's and several projects lean into that.
Carney's Liberal government also recently appointed a new Arctic ambassador, will open new consulates in Alaska and Greenland, and has promised to enhance its military presence in the north. While Poilievre's comments to a room of BC constituents comes ahead of a party convention at the end of the month, where he'll face a leadership review.
I think he'll be able to pivot out of the convention and to start presenting himself to Canadians as an option to be prime minister. And he'll start talking about broader themes, broader issues about Canada's place in the world, Arctic sovereignty.
Poilievre's leadership review is a result of the party's failure to win the last election, which, per the Conservative Constitution, triggers a mandatory review. Party experts expect him to get significant support and remain leader. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
2 projects allowing more travelers to be screened well in advance of crossing the Canada-U.S. border are set to come into effect this year. Public Safety Canada says pre-clearance is meant to make it easier for officials to intercept threats before people or goods cross the border. It says it allows travelers to the U.S. to enter the country or catch a connecting flight more quickly because they've already been screened. Well, a research team at McGill University has found a way to make the successful process of in vitro fertilization less painful. It involves an automated delivery system that uses a light-activated microneedle. Researchers say women currently enrolled in IVF are sent home with needles they have to self-inject daily into their stomach or thigh at a very specific time. for a 2-week period. That process can be painful and sometimes very stressful.
So my team and I worked on a patch, which is about the size of the tip of your thumb, and it's made up of multiple needles that are very, very small. So when you push it into your skin, it's painless. And in the patch are nanoparticles that are light activated. So when you turn on a near-infrared laser, the nanoparticles respond to release the drug, in this case, an IVF hormone. And it makes the whole process painless and automated so that for IVF patients, they can have a much less painful and stressful experience.
The hope is that the new technology will improve the experience for women and that it could eventually be applied to other medications for diseases such as Crohn's and diabetes. Still ahead, we tee up Prime Minister Mark Carney's visit to China in the coming days in an effort to break the ice and boost trade after years of frosty relations. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is -4 degrees. U.S. President Donald Trump saying on social media today, Cuba should strike a deal with the U.S., quote, before it's too late. Trump saying that Cuba will no longer be getting oil or money from Venezuela in the wake of the capture of former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and strikes on the South American country. In the Post, Trump adding that Cuba was receiving those resources in exchange for security services to the previous 2 Venezuelan dictators, adding, quote, most of those Cubans are now dead from last week's attacks. And Cuba's foreign affairs minister responding to Trump saying Cuba does not receive and has never received money or material compensation from Venezuela. He adds, quote, as different from the U.S., we do not have a government that lends itself into mercenaries, blackmail, or military coercion against other states. And turning now to Canadian news, Prime Minister Mark Carney is set to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Tuesday in an effort to break the ice and boost trade after years of frosty relations. Political watchers say Carney has a difficult task ahead of him as he tries to navigate tensions between Canada's 2 largest trading partners, Canada and the United States. When Canada followed the Americans' lead in 2024 with a 100% tariff on imports of Chinese vehicles, China retaliated with a 100% tariff on Canadian canola oil and meal. But with the U.S. taking a more aggressive approach to trade, some experts say Carney will have to be careful that whatever comes out of his meeting with Xi does not further harm Canadian businesses. In other news, it has been a deadly winter for tow truck drivers on Ontario roads. In less than a month, 2 drivers were struck and killed while doing their jobs, helping stranded motorists. This weekend, tow truck drivers in an Ontario community gathered once again to remember the victims and to send a message to drivers. Slow down and move over. CTV's Jeff Pickle reports.
It's a job not for the faint of heart.
People in the towing industry, we're our own breed.
And according to tow truck drivers in Ontario, it's becoming more dangerous.
It's scary. It's scary to work out there on these roads, and it's getting worse, and that's the problem.
Around 75 tow trucks rallying in Milton Saturday morning, a show of support for the latest tow truck operator fatality.
We're a close-knit community. All the drivers know each other across the province, and it affects us. We live this every single day, driving out here.
On December 27th, tow truck driver Kodiar Azimi was struck and killed in Wellington County. His friends and family joining the tow trucks, passing out prints of his picture.
He's my best friend and then very close friend. And then he came to Canada like 8 years before, worked very hard all the time, supporting the family back home.
Azimi is the second fatality in less than a month. On December 3rd, a tow truck driver was hit while on 401 near Cambridge. According to the operators here, every driver has multiple stories of a close call.
Being on the road, on that little dotted line, on the white line, you're always watching your back, right? If you don't watch your back, you can get hit. It takes 1 second.
For Doug Medlin of St. Thomas, his close call nearly killed him.
January 31st of last year, while recovering a school bus, I myself had an encounter with a snowplow. that darn near could have ended my life.
Escaping with minor injuries, Medlin says the collision has had lasting impacts in other ways.
Laying down under a truck pulling a drive shaft, that I hear the sound of the rumble strips, and it still scares me. Nights you get woke up out of a dead sleep thinking about it.
Across the province, tow truck drivers share the same message.
You see the lights, slow down. Given the opportunity, move over. It's the law. You must do it.
You're still seeing a lot of people that are completely oblivious to the dangers that we are facing on the side of the road.
They ask drivers not just to think about the penalty, but to remember the person putting themselves in harm's way.
I think it's 6 points now, $750. The fine doesn't mean anything. It should be $10,000. It's our lives. We're here representing another family that lost a loved one, right? It shouldn't happen.
Jeff Fickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
Well, the new year has brought vindication for an Ontario woman who faced years of humiliating online attacks. And another high-profile criminal cyberbullying case has ended with 10 guilty verdicts. But as CTV's Andrew Johnson shows us, experts say the path to justice is most often a difficult one.
Almost every day for 2 years, Kim Bowie and her Sudbury, Ontario business were the targets of vicious attacks on social media.
I would not want anyone would ever have to go through what I went through.
Across the world, Bowie has something in common with the First Lady of France. Brigitte Macron endured years of false conspiracy theories surrounding her gender and sexuality, including allegations the mother of 3 was born a male. On Monday, a Paris court found 10 people guilty of cyberbullying Macron. Their punishments range from awareness training to 8-month suspended prison sentences. In Sudbury, Bowie sued for damages. She and another victim have now been awarded $1.5 million. But despite these fresh examples of the courts delivering a measure of justice, one tech strategist and lawyer says when it comes to trying to fight online harassment, that is not the norm.
I need to emphasize the fact that it is very rare. Unfortunately, when it comes to these types of matters, they're extremely complex.
Adding civil lawsuits related to online defamation have a very low success rate. In criminal cases, police may hit jurisdictional roadblocks tracking out-of-country IP addresses and sourcing data from social media platforms. The best advice if you're being targeted:
you want to preserve the evidence. Secondly, you want to connect with the platform. There's something called a takedown request to potentially take down the type of defamatory material that may be there. If you know the individual, you may want to send them a cease and desist letter.
And if you can, contact a lawyer. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
It's a chance to meet people. You know, we're in a market, it's busy, we're hanging out.
A key measure of life expectancy for Canadians has taken a turn for the worse. We'll have details right after the break.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
There's a live look at some of the highways here in Ottawa. Pretty clear for the most part. We did get a little bit of snow today, off and on in parts of our city, but as you can tell, the commute going quite smoothly. We do expect some flurries to return at some point potentially, so be safe out there if you find yourself on the roadways. As I mentioned earlier in the show, pretty mild, but definitely some snow in the forecast. So great news for those cross-country skiers that have been begging for something like this. There was a winter weather parking ban in effect. Actually, it is technically still in effect until 7 p.m. As people were out shoveling their driveways and clearing off their cars earlier today, we saw about 10 centimeters of snow, according to Environment Canada. That was last night into today, but then, of course, some flurries kept falling over the course of this afternoon. The satellite radar showing just that as we start out on the East Coast. -2 in St. John's, -1 in Charlottetown, and 2 degrees in Halifax with some overcast conditions across eastern Canada. We're currently sitting at -7 according to this map here, so quite a stark contrast to the temperatures that we've seen really for the last little while here, cooling down quite quickly with some scattered flurries depending on where you are. In Ottawa, -4 right now, in Toronto, and 0 elsewhere in the province. It's 7 degrees in Calgary, so really warm out there, and still warm in Edmonton as well. 1 degree for this time of year. That is definitely above seasonal. It's raining in Vancouver, but they're pretty accustomed to that. 9 degrees right now. How about Baker Lake at -33? That's skin-hurting type of weather, and they're used to that as well. So they'll be bundled up. And if you're out this evening, you'll want to do the same. -11 here in Ottawa. I mentioned -7, so temperature dropping quite quickly with scattered flurries, periods of snow into tomorrow afternoon. 0 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. 1 in the Ottawa Valley. So basically copy and paste the same conditions in the Valley. That's what we're expecting here in Ottawa. And the Seaway, a little bit warmer tonight. -8 with that same chance of flurries. Some wind that you might be contesting with as well, coming out of the west at 26 kilometers an hour. And we look at the 7-day forecast, we show that the cool down is going to start on Thursday. We've got a 60% chance of snow or rain on Tuesday and on Wednesday, 30% chance of flurries on Thursday. And that's when things will start to feel more like seasonal temperatures. -11 is the high on Thursday, -18 is the low on Friday. And so that's where the Rideau Canal is hoping to reopen. The NCC watching the weather situation very closely. Well, a key measure of life expectancy for Canadians has just taken a turn for the worse. New data from Statistics Canada projects the number of healthy years a person gets in their life is on the decline. CTV's Garrett Berry has more on those findings.
There's a little locomotion every week in the corner of the St. John's Farmers Market, drawing some eyeballs. This free exercise class aims to be as open as possible.
So in a chair gives anybody who has mobility issues the opportunity to do that. It's a chance to meet people. You know, we're in a market, it's busy, we're hanging out.
It's all about keeping people moving and keeping people connected.
Elaine brings me a certain kind of peace. She makes me very aware of my body, things that are going on in my body, and I love it. It's fun.
This impulse to bring people together may be in even greater need. New data released by Statistics Canada shows the overall health of Canadians, measured by how many healthy years of living they can expect, fell between 2012 and 2023.
We should be alert, aware, and investigate. Now, do I have my hand on the panic button? Not yet, but maybe it's hovering above the panic button.
In 2023, Canadian women had a life expectancy of 84 years on average. For men, it was just under 80, but the healthy periods in an average lifespan are considerably less, and they're falling. In 2012, Canadians could expect to live over 70 healthy years on average. In 2023, according to this new data, the number has fallen to 66.9. Dr. Esme Fuller-Thompson said even the small decline is worthy of further investigation. It's not yet clear why exactly this measure of life expectancy is falling, but she believes complications from COVID-19 infections and the lingering changes to society that the pandemic brought are surely contributors.
The pandemic was really problematic. Living apart is not how humans are meant to be.
Classes like this may be part of the answer, but Fuller-Thompson said even simple moments of connection, like saying hi to your regular barista, can go a long way. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
We're looking for something that you might never see again.
Still ahead, dozens of bird watchers converge on a street in Montreal to catch a glimpse of a rare European bird.
The most important part of any journey is to arrive safely. Hi, I'm Patricia Bowl.
And I'm Stefan Keys from CTV. Distracted or impaired driving can have devastating consequences.
Hey, it's Ashley.
And Gord from Ottawa's Pure Country 94.
Always plan for a designated driver, and please keep your phone down.
Everyone can help keep communities safe.
Drive safe. Brought to you by the Ottawa Safety Council. For more information on road safety programs and services, visit ottawasafetycouncil.ca.
Opera star Andrea Bocelli is set to perform at the opening ceremony of the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. The Italian tenor was announced as one of the headliners of the 3-hour spectacle. Mariah Carey is also set to perform. The ceremony will be centered at Milan's San Siro Stadium, but will also take place at some other locations in Italy, with this edition of the Games considered the most spread out in Olympic history. The opening ceremony will be held on February 6th. Well, in case you missed it this week, building a backyard rink is certainly a Canadian tradition, but a Perth man is taking it to new heights. He's built an indoor ice rink in the second-story loft of his barn. CTV's Peter Sperling has that story.
It's not your typical homemade ice rink. John Ryan built this in the second-story loft of his Perth, Ontario barn.
If you know me, I'm a pack rat, and the first floor is full. There's no room.
That's right. Ground floor is for storage. Upstairs, for fun.
It's fun and it's helpful.
Keep the stick tight against your skate.
Originally built for his children years ago. Now his grandchildren get to enjoy skating close to home.
Like, mostly every day. Like when I come home from school. Because when I'm bored, I can just come here.
Do you have fun here?
It's great for the kids. They're able to come and skate at Nana and Papa's anytime they want. It helps them practice their skills for hockey.
He says the structure is sturdy, designed to hold the weight of bales of hay. He tried the traditional outdoor rink first, but that wasn't his thing.
Laziness. I'm tired of packing the snow down and watering stuff like this. This, once you've got it in, my son and I think 4 hours, we had it ready to go. Throw the hose in it and walk away.
Of course, he added boards, lights.
Taylor, are you ready for some more hockey?
And a staircase to make getting up and down easier. Ryan's been doing this for 16 years now, and even though it is indoors, it's still very weather dependent.
You take the pucks and the nets off and let it puddle up. Once she gets hard, she's good to go again.
With hopefully many seasons to look forward to.
Well, my grandkids now live behind me, and my son has got a baby on the way, so we'll be doing it till we can't do it anymore.
Peter Sperling, CTV News, Perth.
In Montreal, dozens of photographers and birders have been showing up to one particular neighborhood for days now. A rare European robin has been spotted on this side of the Atlantic, and it is becoming a celebrity. CTV's Christine Long has more.
January 7th, Sabrina Jacob was putting out her garbage when she saw a rare bird.
I watch birds, so I was like, I don't know this sound. So I just look up and I was like, well, I don't know this bird either. He came straight up in front of me for 2 seconds. I took the video.
As her video shows, it's a hardy little bird who usually lives in Europe, even as far north as Scandinavia.
I saw him every day since. I have beautiful pictures, yeah.
When she shared her videos of the bird, people started flocking for a glimpse of this European robin on this side of the Atlantic.
It's nice to see the bird. We love the bird, but it's not like a chase for us. It's more like spending time with the bird.
Fruit trees and green space in the area east of Dixon mean Lori Bellardine and other photographers have been able to take pictures every day, but it's a waiting game.
Waiting, and we'll hope to see if he shows up or not.
It just comes out like for 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So if you're not there at the right time, then you miss it.
How did this robin come here? Bird behaviorist Joël Coutu wonders if proximity to the port isn't a coincidence.
So it's possible that he hitched a ride and crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Other possibilities is the weather conditions as well. Lately in Europe, we've had these cold fronts, and Paris has had snow, and so it's possible these northern winds sort of pushed him here. I doubt he was carried in a luggage in a plane and released here, and it's possible he's been here for a while. So he could have been here for weeks or months, and maybe he did come during migration in the fall.
Some birders said they never thought they would see a European robin.
C'est comme prendre 5 cafés en même temps.
It's like having 5 coffees all at once, says this birder. and he's in good company here.
It wasn't even on the list. It wasn't within within the realm of a possibility.
And you're looking for something that you might never see again.
During dark January days, Jacob's discovery has brought a lot of joy to this neighborhood.
Love, he makes it through the winter and he stays with us with the spring. I would love to.
Christine Long, CTV News.
Great turnover has Jenner. They've got numbers. Jenner shoots and scores!
Still ahead, the Ottawa Charge roll into Halifax, looking to grow the women's game, taking on the Boston Fleet. In tonight's big picture, lava illuminated the night as it spewed and flowed from one of the most active volcanoes in the world. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano has been erupting episodically since December of 2024, and these recent lava overflows began yesterday with fountains reaching up to 20 feet. Absolutely incredible scenes every time we get to take a look at that lava. Turning now to some of the other stories that you need to know, and to help us with this, we bring in CTV's Kimberly Fowler. Kim.
Well, Austin, we've got the PWHL, another takeover game, this time in Halifax this afternoon, and it was a nail-biter.
Great turnover has Jenner. They've got numbers. Jenner shoots and scores!
Ottawa Charge captain Brienne Jenner with her 7th goal of the year. That ties it up for this game here in the third, and eventually will go to a shootout. Katerina Murzova was a beautiful move in the shootout here, and this would be the game winner. Ottawa Sani Ahola would shut the door for the Charge in net. A huge game for her, 32 saves, and it's her first ever PWHL win. Ottawa has now won 6 straight games in a row, and this was over the Boston Fleet. They will play again on Tuesday night, and that'll be in Montreal against the Victoire.
Ottawa, sending it back to Deutsch to Bedkowski, long shot, and they score again.
And the Ottawa 67s taking on the Wolves in Sudbury this afternoon. Ottawa snapping a 3-game losing skid with this 6-4 road win. The Barber Poles, they're still in first place in the Eastern Conference, and they'll play again on Friday, and this is when they host the Gatineau Olympiques.
Puck in the corner, centering pass, bouncing puck, and they score!
And the Sens were looking to snap a 3-game losing streak last night as the Florida Panthers paid a visit to the Canadian Tire Centre. Now, Zetterlund would get the Sens on the board first in the first, but Florida, they respond with 3 straight goals. They actually hang on for the 3-2 win. The Sens get a couple of days to recoup as the Vancouver Canucks, they'll come to the Capitol next. That'll be on Tuesday.
Maybe you should have studied the rebellion text a little harder. I need to find my daughter.
And Hollywood's award season is getting ready to kick off tonight with the Golden Globes returning. Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another leads the film nominations with 9. It's followed by Norwegian drama Sentimental Value. They've got 8 noms. Hollywood insiders are predicting potential wins for fellow film nominees like Sinners, Party Supreme, and Hamnet. And on the TV side of things, Apple TV's The Studio leads the nominations. The 83rd edition of the award show starts at 8 o'clock, and it's hosted for the second time by comedian Nikki Glazer. And a copy of the comic book that introduced the world to Superman has been sold to an anonymous bidder for a whopping $15 million US. Action Comics #1 was originally released in 1939 and sold for 10 cents. It marks the beginning of the superhero genre, and it is among the most valuable comic books in the world. It's estimated that only 100 copies still exist. So from 10 cents to $15 million, wow.
That's an insane return on
Absolutely.
investment. Must be a good book. I'm not dropping 15 million bones on something like that.
I don't know. When people love things, they pay anything for it.
I guess so, but come on. Were you ever big into comic books?
No. Comic book movies, not the actual comic books.
Yeah. Green Lantern, I could read that all day. I don't know what it was about that fella.
Would you spend $15 million on it, though?
I'd spend $15. We don't make that much money up here. I mean, $15 million is a lot of money.
One girl give me, shut up! I love it!
After the break, talk about enthusiasm, how an Ontario driver is giving customers a unique experience and a ride full of joy. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is -4 degrees.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Sneha Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now. Well over 100 Iranians gathering on Parliament Hill as nationwide protests continue in the Middle Eastern nation.
The regime change and a free country that we deserve.
Expats here in Canada calling on the Canadian government and on Canadians to support their push for democracy in Iran.
It's kind of incredible.
And Olympic hopefuls, figure skaters that is, wrap up a week of fierce competition in Gatineau at the 2026 Canadian National Skating Championships. Of course, a lot of people have winter sports on the mind. If your winter sport is skiing or snowboarding, you're going to love this. Waking up to a little bit more in the way of flurries, light flurries though, but we did get about 10 centimeters over the last 24-ish hours here in Ottawa, -11 when we wake up, and that is actually the low overnight into Monday, getting up to a daytime high of 0 degrees. Things will really start to cool off on Thursday, that daytime high at -11, and then the overnight low on Friday, -18. So those are the conditions that we're used to, and unfortunately for many, we're going to be getting back there. Well, for most rideshare passengers, a 5-star trip might involve a clean back seat, maybe even something as simple as a phone charger.
All right, but how about belting out your favorite song during some backseat karaoke? A Toronto driver is giving customers a unique experience and a joy of a ride.
CTV's John Venavelli-Rao has that story.
Yes, this is my car.
The famous car.
Famous car.
Rideshare driver Bakir Ozil showed us his Kia Niro, which as many fans have never seen from the outside, because it's what happens inside.
Do you want to see lights? This is light.
That's turned him into a social media celebrity.
I love it because it's changed my energy. It's energy. People are happy. I'm happy.
Ozil is originally from Turkey and immigrated to Canada about a decade ago. The father of 3 couldn't speak English, which limited what he could do for work.
I came here, I do different job, but my body has sickness.
He says a health problem 2 years ago nearly killed him. Then last summer, while working as a rideshare driver,
my oldest daughter gave me this one.
He was given this karaoke mic, which sparked an idea. He selectively asked passengers if they wanted to sing, and you can see the result.
They are giving crazy reaction. One girl gave me, "Shut up! I love it! No way!" Do you like music?
During a ride, Ozil started surprising passengers in and around Toronto, asking them first to choose a song. Unexpectedly, lights then come on. Then he hands out those mics and glowing glasses. The passengers are asked if they're okay with being filmed as they take part in a karaoke party.
Everybody tell me you made my day.
Are you the Trip Man? Known as the Trip Man, he's now got almost 1 million subscribers on Instagram, and he gets recognized by total strangers. But says he hasn't actually made much money because Instagram doesn't pay creators.
Each month, watch my videos, 50 million, but zero money. Zero money. It's okay.
Working as a driver to help support his family, also says the karaoke was never about making cash, but rather to spread good vibes, to be loving and thankful, and never forget to have fun. John Venavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Love that guy.
Amazing.
And, love this final story as well. A very special guest was in the locker room to read out the starting lineup for the Ottawa Charge this afternoon in Halifax.
Yeah, 4-time Grammy Award winner and Canadian icon Anne Murray getting things started for the Charge.
So Anne's got a starting lineup going here, and just prior to that, I just want to make sure, Anne, you know how much this actually does mean.
is it. Left wing, Sarah Wozniewicz. Center, Brianne Jenner.
Now, Murray is from Spring Hill, Nova Scotia. That's about 2 hours north of Halifax, where this afternoon's game, again, was taking place. Charge coach Carla McLeod, she wore that Emery custom T-shirt on the bench for the entire game. And of course, it is good luck. They went on to win, a nice comeback win as well, 2-1 in a shootout. They stay red hot, and the vibes are high with the Ottawa Charge right now.
Oh, absolutely. They're the hottest team right now.
Yeah.
Very electric.
And it's fun to see Anne Murray as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're getting
She's
that
great.
Nova Scotia connection in there. That's exactly what you need.
Absolutely. What a way to spend a Sunday.
Thanks for watching and spending part of your Sunday with us, everybody.
Yeah. See you later tonight.